There she is in all her glory. We just brought her back, about an hour drive on 2 wheels. Front axle is just hanging. These wheels are off. I gotta redo the hubs. Tomorrow morning we'll start prepping her up and get her restored and bring her back to life. All right, guys, so it's the next morning. I'm out here early trying to mess with this thing and get it ready. First thing I'm gonna do today is I'm going to pressure wash it. That way I can knock out any of the loose surface rust and tear down any mildew that's on the trailer. After that, I want to start messing with the axle, see what I can do with that, or the hubs, and get everything serviced pretty well. I'm going to spray this all over the surface, and then I'm going to pressure wash every bit of it, try to knock down all that loose stuff. And from there on out, after that, I'll pull out the surfacer or the wire brush on the grinder and start getting every surface and get this thing ready for some primer. That way we can have it painted pretty soon. All right, so the trailer's all pressure washed now. The next thing I am going to do is I'm gonna hit it with this surfacer from Hobo Freight. It's in solid shape. Most of this stuff is all surface. There's no cracking metal or anything like that. I'm gonna run this thing, and then whatever I have to hit with the grinder and the wire wheel, I'll tackle that after. Yeah, let's get to it. Back to work. That thing works pretty darn good. So as you can see, we're making pretty good progress. You can see a significant difference in everything that it takes off. Especially here, you can really get a good idea. Smooths out pretty good, and then you can see all that's pretty rough. Like I said, I'm gonna pressure wash this again, and then we'll let it dry out, and we'll see if we can get some primer on here. So it was getting pretty messy. Had to get a dust mask on at least. So on these edges, the surfacer couldn't reach straight to the edge. So if you see I did that side a lot cleaner. So I'm just gonna hit this with the wire brush and the grinder. Any tighter crevices that I couldn't reach with the surfacer. And then I'm gonna pressure wash it again and see how we look from there. We have pressure washed it, hit it with the surfacer, went back and got the tight crevices with the wire brush on the angle grinder. I just finished pressure washing it again. I missed the spot right here I have to get. Now I hit it with the backpack blower, kind of help it dry up a little faster. I'm gonna let it sit for a bit and then get back to it once it dries up. I'm trying out this universal bonding primer. Just testing it out, see how it lays down. I have a few cans of this. So once it dries up more, I'll go ahead and lay down some primer, give it some time to dry, and then I'll update you guys once we get to paint. Well, the rain decided to put a stop to the work, so since these wheels are off, I'm gonna hold off on the trailer frame, and I'm gonna start wire brushing this one down and try to get some paint on it. At least this one's done, and then I'll start taking apart the other 3 wheels and do the same. Wax and grease remover, Prepsol, whatever you guys want to use. Just get all the residue off of it. and try to get a decently clean surface. Now, this thing's not a show trailer. I ain't worrying about it being perfect. I just want it to be good. So I'm gonna make it look better than it does, and that's the plan. So let's go for it. A little bit of a pinch because I ran out of primer, and I went and dug in the enclosed trailer, and I got some brown rust primer that I had in there. So I sprayed some of that on the top where it'll be concealed by the wood. The areas that aren't shown too much, I'm gonna go ahead and paint those black, and then I'll paint the frame of the trailer whatever color I'm gonna go with, which we'll have to find out soon. I was trying to beat the weather, so I went ahead and sprayed it down after priming it. We did 2 coats of paint and primer, semi-gloss black. Now this is just a Rust-Oleum spray can, as you can see right down there. So we painted all the visible parts, of course. The top parts all have rust bonding primer, and then I painted, if you were to look under the trailer, I painted everything that would show underneath the boards. So I still gotta get these 2 hubs done. Got the wheels also painted. These bearings, I checked them out, they're all good. I gotta just repack those. Get some wood on this thing. Fixing to wire the lights. I gotta get some ramps built, find a rod, and then either build ramps or buy ramps to get on that. So this axle and these hubs are all good. No play there. Like I said, I just gotta repack those. But she's pretty much all done. As in paint. A few areas that still look a little rough, like right down here. I just got that primer in there, but some of these supports have a little heavier material on there I couldn't get off, so I just left it. Not a big deal. I could have hit it with the grinder. Not too worried about it. The piece of steel is actually still pretty solid, so. But man, this thing is looking great. Super excited. Not even 24 hours into restoring this thing, and pretty excited with the outcome so far. Once we get that axle or those hubs done and some wood, she'd pretty much be ready for the road, so stay tuned. Go ahead and get your power and your ground, and you should have a light. There she is. I'll give you guys a quick walk around. Way better than what it was. Like I said, I don't need it to be a show trailer. My goal was just to make it, like a wise man once said, 70 to 80% better, and I think we achieved that, so I'm happy with where we're at. Just can't wait to get this thing boarded up and on the road. All right, so day 3 of ownership. I just came back from about an hour-and-a-half drive, picked up an axle. So the axle is too big to throw on the trailer, but the hubs are what I need. All the bearings are good. The hubs are in perfect condition. So I already pulled one off, and then we have, hey little guy. I got a bunch of grease on the axle, got the seal in, got the bearing in. I've never done these before, so if I'm doing it wrong, go ahead and write a comment down below, teach me how to do them right. So I'm gonna get the hub in now. I'm gonna get the front bearing, get the washer, the pin, and all of that stuff in. Hopefully we'll be all right. Got the other bearing right there. I'm gonna pack it up with grease and give that a shot.
Probably should wire brush the threads on this before I get the castle nut on.
So this is the current update on the trailer. I've got the hubs done, reflective stickers on there. So these weren't too bad to do. It was a little tricky to get them seated, to get the bearings seated, but I repacked those, got those painted up. And yeah, she's looking great. Got reflective tape on the back sides. Now all that's missing is I'm actually gonna redo all of the wiring. So I got some wire. Here, I'll show you guys. I have some 4-way wire. So it's got turn signals, lights, ground. I just gotta connect that to a 4-way. So I didn't realize I kind of did the wiring wrong on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and redo those maybe tomorrow if I get the chance. But yeah, give you guys a quick walk around. Yeah, hubs are looking great. Trailer's sitting a lot nicer too. It made it a lot stiffer now that all 4 wheels are on the ground. All we have left to do now would be so to get the boards on. We got to redo the wiring, and then I have to figure out what I'm going to do for ramps, if I'm going to do ramps at all. I might just leave the dovetail and we can use it like that. But so we're all wrapped up at Home Depot. Got 16 2x6 by 16s. That should be enough to do the deck, which is going to be 14 pieces if I'm not mistaken. And then same thing here, but at 2 foot instead of 16. Got the trailer home. So they're all laid out right now. They're not inside of the grooves. I got the front ones inside. These I have to cut down to size. I already cut 2. I almost forgot to record this step. I have to take about 1 inch off of each one because they got to fall inside that little groove right there on both sides. I'm going to put you guys on a time lapse while I cut these down. I'll get back to you guys once we get to the dovetail. Okay, the deck is done. It was a bit of a struggle. I had to notch out these little corner pieces because there's that thicker piece of metal. I notched both ends. That way they can slide in, and then I used the jack. But yeah, so the deck is done. Now I'm gonna work on this. I'm not sure how I'm gonna tackle it, but worst case scenario, I might just cut the welds off of this front bracket here, lift it up, get all the wood in, and then lay that back down and re-weld it. I'll try to get some in there and see how that works. If it doesn't, then I'll just go ahead and cut those welds. Got the dovetail. I remember these pieces look a little raised. That's because I had to notch them. That way they can fit over the thicker piece of steel that's under it. I had to leave a little gap in the middle here because I ran out of wood, so I ended up having to cut a full 2x6. I just don't have enough to get it done. I made it to where it's sort of in the middle. But that's it.